back to my channel. My name is Caitlin Hirschler. This is coming for you from, where do I live? Somersworth, New Hampshire, which is the third smallest town by area, smallest by population. Flip that, one of the two. Doesn't matter. This is a knitting and crochet podcast, and the amount that I wanted to say a knitting, hand dyeing, and spinning podcast like Amy Florence is very high, but I don't do two of those things, so I can't. How are you guys doing this week? I'm doing well. I've been putting off doing that, or doing this podcast thing, because I didn't really feel like getting dressed up and going through the motions, but then I realized this is my podcast. I can do whatever the fuck I want. So, no makeup, hair in the man bun. I'm actually wearing sweats. I'm literally sitting in my bed. But the lighting in here is nice, so it makes up for it. So I have got one finished object for you guys this week. And it's not from lack of knitting. I've actually been knitting quite a bit. But this is my finished object. I made the orange sock. I got off my ass and finally finished it. At first I was mixed about how I felt about the shape of it. I went with just what the pattern said. This is, I think, just sock ornament or something along those lines. I'll pop it below. But it's a heel flap and gusset, and then just a really simple toe. I really like it. So I will continue making the rest of them in this manner. I'll have a full rainbow spectrum. I'll probably make some mini sweaters. Who knows? I'm gonna get crazy up in here. But the reason that I don't have that many finished objects is because I am putting all of my time into knitting my What the Fade shawl by Andrea Mowry. I am obsessed with it. I'm 90% sure 2 weeks ago. I was just at the finishing up the second color change, going from the second to the third section in the brioche. Well, 2 weeks later, I am now about to start fading in the 5th color on the garter stitch. I have been dedicated. My time has been steady. Luckily I was smart enough to put it on a completed row, so you can see all the brioche down there, and then where that kind of grass green is where the garter stitch starts. So I will get it closer. I'm so obsessed with this. I really want to get it done, mostly for my sanity, because it's a big project and I feel like if I put it down that I won't finish it. So I'm just going on bouts like 5 hours at a time. I have no job, so I can do whatever I want right now. So I'll just go on bouts of like, I'm just gonna sit here and knit on this all day and watch history documentaries, which is but absolutely incredible. Speaking of history documentaries, I like usually like ancient history or history that's based in cultures that aren't just Europe, because I find that I've learned a lot about it already. Let's learn about something else. And I also really like nature documentaries, so about geology, the rise of the continents, which is actually the name of a documentary. It's really good. You should watch it. Or like monsoon seasons in India, stuff like that. So I watch those on Netflix a lot, but there's only so many that they put on there because they have so much other content that they need to put in there, obviously. So I got Curiosity Stream, which I really, really love. It's pretty much all just documentaries. And I have probably watched over 10 documentaries in the past like week and a half about, you know, some of the pyramids, or King Tutankhamun, King Aten, who was his father, the fall of Constantinople, a lot about Rome, about the Celts, which are really cool. So they were a Bronze Age people. And apparently there's controversy, because did they start in Central Europe or did they start coming from like the Spain area? The general consensus is Central Europe, but there is some researchers that have a theory. I could go into this for hours. I find it very entertaining. And then I watched a lot of the the archaeogeologic, ancient history geology, so plate tectonics and stuff like that, which is really cool how you can model what the Earth looked like that long ago in terms of plate tectonics and how they interacted. I have no idea the technology or kind of the science that goes into it, but I just think it's really, really cool to be able to take something that is happening almost imperceptibly every day, and it's so massive and so complex, and be able to model what the earth did, you know, millions of years ago, I think is really incredible. So that was my curiosity stream tangent. I have one more. Well, actually, I want to talk to you a little bit more about this shawl. So hopefully next time I podcast, it'll be done. If I'm on the same track record, I'll get done by the end of this week. But this yarn is from Cornbread and Honey Yarns. And for some reason, I feel like I might have messed that up. Do I have my phone on me? No, I'm feeling confident. It's Cornbread and Honey. And they custom dyed this fade for me. So I absolutely love it. I will definitely be getting, when I get a new job, that probably will be my back to the workforce present to myself, will be to get another custom fade done, because I think they're absolutely beautiful. So go check out her work and her yarn. I also really like her Georgia colorway. I know that was on her shop update that happened today, but I'm not buying any yarn right now. I have one more whip. I need to go grab it. And I've returned. So I used to do a lot of embroidery before I started crocheting and knitting. It's kind of how I got into like the fiber arts, was through embroidery at first. So I am starting something new. So you can't tell at all what this is. This shirt was a shirt I picked up in Montana last year. I really loved it. I'm trying not to buy that much clothing right now. But I got a huge sticker stain on it. Like, the sticky stuff won't come off. So I was like, how can I repair this? So I've decided just to do a bulk embroidery over it. So up close you can get an idea of the colors better. The flower is actually two-tone. It's all around an orange color. And then the bottom half is kind of detailed in a darker maroon color of some sorts. Sorry, I heard my cat jump down behind me. They're both in here, so you might get a peek of them today. I've been promising for a while and haven't delivered. But back to the embroidery. So I got this from Florals and Floss Designs. I'll pop it in the bottom, link to her Etsy. I might even pop that into the description box. I never do that, but I really like her work. She offers a lot of patterns, a lot of pre-made embroideries, like the little hoops. I think her work is really stunning. So you should definitely go check that out. How I'm doing on this, I'm using stabilizer to try, because this is a really thin knit fabric, so not ideally what you'd want to be embroidering on. Yeah, definitely not ideally what you would be embroidering on. To try to give it some more stability, and then it'll wash away when I soak this in water afterwards. But even so, I'm causing huge holes in the fabric. So I'm not even certain. I'm trying to see if you can see. You can't. It's just really thick amount of embroidery in one area on a thin piece of fabric. So we'll see if it holds up. If it does, it'll be awesome because it's so beautiful. And if it doesn't, I'll just stretch it out and leave it in a frame. Because I wasn't wearing this shirt anyway because of the stain. And this is just my attempt to wear it. So if I kind of ruin the shirt but have a piece of art, it's kind of a dual win. So yeah, we'll see how that turns out. What else do I have to talk to you guys about? I guess it's all my crafty stuff. Other things to talk to you guys about this week. First I want to go into my garden. So I recorded a little clip earlier today of kind of where my garden is now. I got my seedlings from Orange Circle Farms on Friday. So I was growing some seeds myself, and then I also wanted to have a backup in case I completely failed, which I didn't completely fail. So I have 2 sets of seedlings, but I also got seedlings from the farm. So I have 5 different tomato varieties. So I can name them off the top of my head: Brandywine, Valencia, Sun Gold, San Marzano, Raspberry Leona, and Green Giant. So I guess that was 6 unless I didn't count correctly. So that's really cool. I also have some eggplants that I got, cucumbers, and I'm trying to grow some peppers as well, and some other things you'll see in the video. So I'll pop that in now, and I hope you really enjoy it. Hi guys, it's super bright outside, but I wanted to take you on a quick tour of my garden. So we have the little herb plot
right here, just some basic Italian herbs. Wanted to see if I could plant it in this plastic planter without killing it. So we got thyme, sage, rosemary, regular basil, and then some dill because I'm obsessed with dill. I finally got my seedlings this week and I planned it out, the ones that I've grown, which is not the majority of these because those tomatoes are obviously a lot bigger than some of mine. But we got pepper here that I grew from seed. I don't know who he is, and I'm hoping I don't kill him, but we shall see. I think this is a Thai chili, though. And then this one is probably a Hungarian pepper of some sort. I forget the name of it. This is an eggplant, Black Beauty. I'm really excited about that. I really fucking love eggplants. And then I have... How many types of tomatoes do I have? I think I have... These are raspberry Leona tomatoes here. I grew these from seed, and these are green giants, which I also grew from seed. I have no idea where I'm pointing the camera, so I'm sorry if it's all over the place. This is Valencia, so that's tomato, and then those two are Brandywine tomatoes. Those are going to be slicers, and these are all slicers over here. I can't remember what Valencia is going to be. I'm assuming it's probably going to be a paste tomato of some kind. It's either a slicer or like something like a paste or something I would use for canning. This is a Sun Gold, so that's going to be a cherry tomato. And then that one over there is a San Marzano, which is not the house, which is going to be a paste tomato. So then again, I am also trying, these have been, okay, this is really sad. So these little plants right here have been growing for the same amount of time as this plant. I don't know why. Celery takes about 3 to 4 weeks to germinate, and it's super annoying because you think it's dead. And I've killed almost every single, these all had celery in it at one point, but I just have that little one left. We'll see if we can make it to go one of those plants over there, but I doubt it. And then these are some flowers that I'm trying to grow from seed. Then if we go over here, this is where my climbing and leafy greens, climbing plants and my leafy green plants are going to be. So these are just two cucumbers. They're babies, so I can't really see them grow up this because I think it's going to be pretty to see. But it is, I forget what variety it is. I think it's, nope, that doesn't help me. We shall see. I'll probably pickle them because that's what I always do with cucumbers. I scattered a bunch of lettuce seeds through the front of the bed so that as those pop up I can eat them as microgreens or just as I thin them out. But it'll also be nice to have a fresh supply of leafy veg. And then I planted some collard greens here because that's actually my favorite green veg, which is very strange because I didn't eat collard greens until probably my senior year of college, but after that I was just like, wait, I really love collard greens. But as well, I just planted some seeds, 2 soybean plants for edamame, and then 2 greasy grits bean plants. Don't know if I will enjoy those, but I wanted to try nonetheless. And then the last bed that I have is my flower bed. So it's meant to be a kind of pollinator bed, and just to be pretty in flowers because the rest, it used to look like just that, except when I did the dirt and the bricks, the green plants hadn't grown in yet, so it looked even worse. But yeah, so the grown plants here I got from the same farm that I got my other tomato seedlings from, in the ground here. Hopefully they'll germinate in the next few days, but those are going to be nasturtiums, which have edible flowers. Those are really pretty. And these are all just supposed to be pollinator flowers of some kind. And then I have these that I grew from seed. They're going to be, I forget exactly what they're called. I'll pop it on screen, but it's a pretty bright, exciting flower. Oh, and the last thing I want to talk to you about was this really jank trellis that I built. So as I said, I got laid off, so I'm trying to spend as little money as possible. But I needed something so that my vining plants, if they actually grow, can grow up on. So I got 3 different, it's literally just, like, I think they were just a few dollars each, these wood poles, and then a roll of hardware cloth, which is just metal. It's a 1/2 inch squares, and then I just staple gunned it to the back, and it stayed pretty well. At first I was thinking about attaching it with wire, but I didn't think that, I thought it was going to be too much of a hassle, so I luckily had a staple gun, and I just did that up. But that's my garden so far, so I'll update y'all as things continue growing. I am excited to see how my tomatoes get settled into their new homes. The difference between the daytime temperature and nighttime temperature, I think, is stressing them out a little bit, so I'm getting a lot of like curl on my leaves. But we shall see. Bye, guys.
Okay, I hope you guys really enjoyed that video. I have been really enjoying gardening a lot. It's been taking up a lot of my time. It's something that's been making me really happy and really feeling productive, which is like the source of 90% of my happiness is, am I productive or not? Which, you know, not always the best way to connect your sense of worth and well-being, but we work on these things and we move forward. I also applied to a part-time job at a local brewery, Garrison City Beer Works, and I'm really hoping I get the job. It's like part-time job, maybe once or twice a week. I'd be pouring beers, slinging tacos, but I really respect this brewery. I love the beer they produce, and I've always wanted to work at a brewery, but can't because I have to have healthcare, and since I have my plan still for 18 months through Cobra, I get to keep my healthcare, so I can do that now. Also decided that I might go to grad school, which I never thought about. I always kind of said in an offhandedly way that if I ever, I'm a background, I have a bachelor's of science in material science and engineering. It's 1 degree. I'm using that mostly in a material development, product development sense right now. That's kind of what I've been enjoying doing. And inside that part of my job, I've really enjoyed the sustainability aspect of it. So how can we make this product more sustainable? How do we integrate sustainable materials in this project, design for disassembly, end of life, stuff like that. Like, where's this coming from? The farming, if it's a natural product, are they using regenerative farming? So it's not like pesticides, all that stuff. So that's an aspect that I really enjoyed of my job that I'm doing now. And so in this uncertain time, which I am now deciding I don't like the word uncertain anymore, but it might take a while to get back into a job, like into a career in product development or material development, just because people aren't hiring right now. I've heard from a lot of recruiters that they're taking a lot of resumes and they're kind of waiting for the market to pick back up, and once it does, they'll start hiring, but who knows when that's going to be. And it's kind of hard to play the guessing game where it's like, should I wait it out and be like, yeah, like definitely gonna get a job sometime in the next like 8 months, like it'll be fine. But we'll see what happens, job wise. But any case, that sustainability. So then I realized, you know, what if I go into sustainability in some aspect? It's something I have a really big passion about, and how do I get the qualifications to kind of do that? So I've been looking into programs in like a master's of sustainability. There's MBAs with a concentration in sustainability, a master of science in sustainability, and different stuff like that. And I would probably use it to go more into corporate sustainability and kind of working with the companies I was working with now, and kind of directing their plan for sustainability. Like, how can the company be sustainable? What does that mean? Communication, stuff like that. So I'm really excited to kind of have realized that I have an interest and a passion in that, and I still have a lot of research to do because as much as I want to go to grad school, like I think it's a really, really good option for me right now. I only have my plan on my healthcare for 18 months starting at the end of May. And that's gonna be expensive every month. My premium will be $350 every month, but I have a good deductible and a good max out of pocket, so that's fine. But after 18 months, I will have to get a plan on the open market, and I don't know if I'll be able to afford it with my pre-existing conditions. I can't go back on my parents' plan because I turned 26 in less than a year, so that won't work out. And a master's degree is usually 2 years if you're working part-time, but we'll see. So that's something I'm really excited about. So hopefully you'll see that kind of develop sorry, I was looking at my beautiful yarn, distracted all the time. So we'll see how that goes out. So watch this space. That is all I have for you this week, guys. I want to show you some kitties. That's Bean. Bean! She's the kitten. She doesn't care. And that's my baby Jeej clearing. Don't look at my face. In the background. Yeah, buddy. Thank all y'all for coming today and watching my podcast. Hope you're doing well and we're going to have a nice... It's today Sunday, so have a nice week ahead. Have jobs. Do something fun. Plan to plan. Bake some chocolate chip cookies. I might go eat one now. I'm eating a ton. Love y'all. Bye.